Good Thursday morning, everyone. We've made it past the hump and the weekend will be here soon. Although for many people, the days are running together. We've been going around the state hearing from representatives from each of our People First groups, and today we'll hear from Nathan Parker of the Huntington group. Nathan has been involved in People First for many years, and we'll hear how he has served on many boards and committees in his community and around the state. And he also says he is staying involved while staying home and staying safe. That's all coming up in just a few minutes. But first, we always like to let you know about the many resources we have that we're keeping you updated on daily.
That's correct, Liz. Along with this weekday program that we post at 10 o'clock each morning, we invite you to go to our website, www.peoplefirstwv.org. On the front page, we have a list of links that are continually updated as new information becomes available. This is fluid, as we have seen, and so what's accurate one day might change the next, so keep going back and checking that. And then when there's a big announcement or news release, we put those at the top as soon as we get them.
Yes, and first there are links to direct information about COVID-19, like what it is, reminding you to wash your hands, and other information written for people with disabilities and by people with disabilities. We also have listed a Zoom online get-together that is hosted on Mondays and Thursdays by SARTAC, the Self-Advocacy Resource and Technical Assistance.
There are also federal government resources for Social Security. I know there's a lot of questions about that, and we always put their news releases on there, so you're reading it directly what they say about the Social Security payments and if the stimulus payments are going to affect your income guidelines for savings and things like that. IRS, Centers for Disease Control, state resources for Governor Jim Justice and his daily briefings, Workforce West Virginia if you've recently been unemployed due to the virus, and the order to close non-essential businesses, West Virginia State Health Department, Department of Health and Human Resources, Department of Education about the schools, Secretary of State for voting, and the Attorney General if you have any questions about fraud, people calling you, telling you they'll help you get your stimulus payment, or telling you that they're a bill collector when they're not, things like that, or other things like price gouging. You can get that information on the Attorney General's website, and that link's there as well.
And we are also concerned about you and your personal health and safety beyond just keeping your hands clean and not touching your face. As this goes on day after day, it can wear you down if you don't do things to rest or relax or play a game, go outside, or other things to take your mind off what is going on. So on the website are links for agencies like WV211 from the United Way, Help for West Virginia, and other agencies that you can call in your area if you have any mental health concerns.
And also, as we do these interviews day by day, we're separating them out. So if you want to hear one about banking safety, banking online, or mindfulness that we did with Pam Santer a while ago, there's yoga, there's music. Those are all linked as well. So then you can just pick and choose. So if you want mindfulness, you can listen to that every day without listening to the whole program that it was attached to. But now it's time for our interview today. On the phone is Nathan Parker. He's president of the Huntington People First group. We have People First groups in different parts of the state, and I wanted to talk to the different presidents and see what was going on personally about how they're managing the COVID-19 stay-at-home order, and then also how the People First group is doing. So, Nathan, thank you for joining me. How's things going? Has your life changed a lot during this stay-at-home order?
Yes, it has. It's changed a lot. Part of not getting out as much as I used to and doing the things we do is cut us back too, because we have other resources that I deal with and, other organizations, and everybody just going, they're attached. I mean, they'll check with you from time to time, but maybe once or twice or something I've been contacted. So, it's been a big ordeal. It's a lot of sleep, a lot of stay-in department.
Were you ready? Did you listen so you already had stuff on hand, or how have you been able to manage making sure you had enough supplies and food and stuff?
Yeah, I got enough supplies and food and stuff. I go out grocery shopping, and they even give us a raising of food stamps, which help a lot better too for the next 2 months, this month, next month. And I've been able to get the things I need.
Now, I know you're quite a master at public transportation. Has it been more of a challenge? Because I know they want people to stay apart, and some places have limited how many people are on the. In Parkersburg, they limited how many people can be on a bus at the same time. How's that going in Huntington?
Well, they don't have that. I haven't been really riding the bus lately myself, and they just let whoever's on there get on. I haven't been riding the bus since it happened.
So how have you been able to get to the store? Have you had other transportation? Or?
Yeah, other transportation. Neighbors, they go when I go with them.
As the president of the People First Group in Huntington, how's this affected your meetings there?
Well, we haven't had any meetings since March. The place we have it is shut down, so we're not having our meeting.
Well, some people are using their teleconference system like we're doing now, and I know the Morgantown group's starting to use Zoom, but I didn't know if that was practical. Not all groups that's practical to use.
No.
I know that you're on a lot of boards and committees, and one of the things I wanted to ask you about is why do you do that? Some people would rather sit back and watch everything go by. You have been on several boards and committees. Why is that important to you?
Well, the reason it's important is because I make a difference, and I can learn. And not only I can learn, is that I can get involved. And being involved is the way to set yourself a tone to do the things that you can do, and it helps you make a difference.
How many different boards and committees would you say you've been on in the past few years?
Oh, Lord. 1, 2, quite a few, about 10.
How did you get on those boards? Because we have asked people, please get on a board or committee, or we encourage you to. And, well, I don't know what board to get on. I don't know how to do that. I am not really blah. How did you get on those boards, and what was your involvement?
Well, my involvement was with the Center for Independent Living, who got me to where I'm in now. I mean, even People's First. How I got on these is because I made a difference. And I got involved.
And how did you do that? Give me a description. When you say you make a difference and get involved, what does that mean? To somebody who's listening and says, well, he says he's got involved, but I don't know what that means, or he made a difference. Tell me some differences you've made and what your involvement's been.
I've been involved in not just making a difference, but being involved in the organizations and being part of it and things like that.
I know a lot of people, when they think getting involved, think Disabilities Council or Statewide Independent Living Council or, West Virginia University, technology and assisted technology. Yeah. But you've also been involved in your city in a committee as well. Talk about the city group that you've been involved with as well.
Okay. I've been involved in the city. We had, it's called River Cities Council for Persons with Disabilities, and I'm just a board member right now. I was the president. I'm a board member now. I mean, we had our elections, and what they do is they meet the first Friday of the month, and what they do is get informed of other organizations, get other disability organizations involved, like Goodwill or Division Rehab, and get them involved in its topics or things that are happening in the city. Disability organization, disability-wise. We have a job fair once a year, which turns out to be a good one.
What types of city things might you be involved with?
Curb cuts, employment. We do a lot of employment, various jobs, stuff like that.
Do you talk about transportation or anything like that? I know you and James Qualls worked quite a while to try and talk about the transportation work you've done.
Transportation, we've worked mostly with the Tri-State Transit Authority and make sure that everything's fine. Dial rides. We haven't had no issue here lately. We shall not. We haven't here lately. Things like that.
Talk about working with KRT to try and what happened when the bus quit running between the Charleston and Huntington.
we had a bus that goes Huntington to Charleston, and it stopped because of the funding. And the governor tried to get it to continue, and he couldn't, which he's a senator now. And, I mean, it was good. I mean, I used it when I could use it. It negatively impacted me about going to Charleston for some meetings and getting connection to go to other towns for meetings. I don't know too much about the reason why it stopped, but I know I contacted the governor, and the governor just couldn't get it to go back on again.
You are pretty creative, and so when you really need to, you have figured out actually how to make a few stops here and there. You can still get from Charleston back to Huntington by bus, but how long does it take? What do you have to do to make that work as opposed to a single bus ride?
Well, you have to go Greyhound, and Greyhound is at least 6 in the morning, gets there at 7, and it's $28. That's one way. Or there's another way you can go, but it don't get there till a little bit after 1 o'clock. It leaves. You had to do the Tri-River Transit and TTA and KRT. It leaves around about 8:30 in the morning and gets Charleston about 1 after our layover.
So you can make it, but instead of taking, how long was the KR trip that it used to take, and then how long does it take riding making all those jumps?
Well, it was actually TTA and KRT. It was both of them. It was an hour.
And so it went from being an hour to now it would take 5 hours plus a whole bunch of hops to make it work.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been working on that. All right. But that just shows that sometimes, even though you try and work and are an advocate for things, it's not always successful, but that doesn't stop you, does it?
No.
Anything else you want to talk about what you've been doing or how you advocate, or because you're a pretty active person and don't like to sit around. So tell anything else you want to talk about?
Well, I just like to advocate, and right now is a point in time that phone calls are the best way to do it. And if there's something that needs to be done, talk to our congressmen, our senators. Phone's the best way to go. Right now, we're just calling them.
So staying at home is not stopping, huh?
No. I mean, I'm at home, and I do the things at home, but it's not what I like to. I mean, there's other things that I do, yeah.
But it's not stopping you from advocating.
Right. And it don't, because I'm at home, that means I'm sitting. It means that there is phone calls that we do. Even the doctors, even my doctors are having me to call now. Actually, I got 2 appointments next week that instead of going to the doctors, they're going to call me and they're going to talk to me. So phone's about the best way to do anything right now.
One last question we've been asking everyone, Nathan, is what have you been doing to have fun? You know, this can get on you if you sit too long. Do you watch TV? Have you been doing a hobby? What have you been doing to keep things so you don't get too bogged down?
I watch TV, listen to radio. I go outside. We all get together and sit together and talk. Just
6 feet apart, of course.
Go out and drive. I don't drive, but I go out with a person who drives, and we go out and about the neighborhood. Transportation-wise, you know, we go and visit friends. So I'm pretty active.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan. Nathan Parker is the president of the Huntington Group. And despite being at home, he's using the phone, still being active, making sure that he's advocating. And we appreciate your time, Nathan. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
That was a lot of great information, and we want to keep providing you interviews that are helpful. If you have an idea for someone we can talk to, just let us know. And if you are doing something fun like gardening or making crafts or painting or even baking, send us pictures. We'd love to see them and share them with everyone.
Now, actually, if you're baking, you can send us samples. No, I'm just kidding. A picture's just fine. And if it's something that you think others might like, share the recipe with us. We can share it with everyone that everyone can bake, because I know lots of people have been trying out new things while they're all at home.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, we want to invite you to join us for 2 great interviews with officers of People First of Marion County. Cody Heston is the president and Sarah Valentine is the vice president. Cody will be talking about woodworking and a musical instrument he's learning, and Sarah will talk about creating paintings in a non-traditional way. And they will both talk about their involvement in People First. That's all tomorrow. But before we go, just below this video is a link to a video series by the National Special Olympics Organization, and we hope you'll take a look.
That's right. It's from a new section they've started called the School of Strength, and there's a series of videos that will help anyone in learning to move better and improve your balance, and we're going to link to a different one of those videos each day for the rest of the week.
Thanks for joining us again today. Talk to you tomorrow.